Hello, beautiful souls. I am making this video to talk a little bit about my story, to give you a little insight into my world and how it is that I have arrived to this point on my path and my journey of self discovery. So, it all began, as all of our stories do. When you're born into this world, you're born with your natural instincts. And that primal instinct, right? So growing up, you quickly begin to realize that parts of you people may not like or it doesn't fit society. And a lot of this is because we are acting out those things in our most primal way, and we don't understand how to, as children, rightfully so, we don't understand how to work with who we are into the world, right? So, growing up, we have all of these things that happen to us. As I did, I had some physical things, mental things that were very traumatic. So, these things added to that and was piled on to what was being pushed into the unconscious. So with that, I went through life, you just forget about all of that and you try to fit into the world as best you can. Growing up, I became the model citizen as we all tried to do as best that I could. What's in the unconscious is screaming throughout your life. You just don't understand where it's coming from, right? Most of us. And your conscious is like going on with life and working within the logic. So your unconscious and your conscious is constantly having this battle, which is what was happening to me. I was having this battle of you know what, I'm just going to do this. You know what, I feel this, that I want to do this, but I'm not, because it doesn't quite fit. So you're constantly having this battle, and then you just again suppress it more. So it got to a point where the my gut feeling, my intuition was just getting louder, and you feel drawn to certain things, and you get to a point where you're in your life where you're like, you know what, I have to go with this. I have to follow what resonates with me. I have to follow whatever this is. I didn't know what it was at the time, but you have these little inclinations about what it is that you want to do, what do you want to learn, what do you want to be. So I went on this path of self discovery that taught me so many things. Like I learned a lot of things in different modalities of healing, energy work, working with herbs, working with people, and having mentors guide me along the way, to help me better understand, because doing it alone is very difficult. So I went through this whole path of self discovery and acquired the knowledge and wisdom through experience of what it is that I wanted and desired and needed, and how what that looks like. So then, what you get to the point where, okay, I have this knowledge. Now I need to apply it to working on myself, doing the shadow work, doing the work, acknowledging what was in the beyond, below, underworld, or unconscious, and acknowledging each thing, becoming aware of it. And once you shed the light on it, once you are aware of it, because when we see things, it now exists. Because if you don't see it, it is not there, it doesn't exist in your world. So I began to see all of what was in my unconscious. So what happened was it began slowly to emerge back up into the light and out of the darkness. So over time, it molded back into who I was. It helped me to become this whole person of who I was meant to be. So I began to love um, it's a new love, right? You begin to fall in love again with yourself. So what happened was there's more, there's the next step because this was difficult enough. This was, it's just not an easy process at all. But you have to do it in order to come out at the other end. So what happened was I've addressed this. I've done the shadow work. Now I have to acclimate that into my day-to-day life, back into the world. Because what happened was when you were younger, you did just that. You put all of who you were out into the world, but then you came up against some resistance of you being who you are. So now I have to try this again. But the difference is I I have a balance. I don't act out primally. I understand how to flow, how to navigate those energies, how to work with who I am, because I know who I am and I'm confident in who I am. There's days that I'm not going to lie, because we are living this human existence and we have emotions. We go day to day and things shift, energies change. So, this is why it's a daily work, and this is why you have to have the knowledge and understanding of knowing what it is so that you can flow with it and work with it. So I stepped out into the world and begin the next part of my path and understanding, okay, this is how I work with who I am in relationship to others, to things, to the existence of the world, just to nature, understanding what my relationship was at that point, and who I was in my journey to the world. So I went through that whole part of self-discovery. You're going to have your lower days. We're not always operating in our highest vibrational frequencies. We have our lower days. And it could be several reasons, the intake of different foods, the lack of nutrition, the lack of being healthy, working out, whatever it is, or being surrounded by the wrong people. There's different things that can affect it, but this is now I have gotten to the place where I have the tools that I need in order to navigate through all of those things and understand how to work with them when it comes to who I am. So that is my story. That is a lot of our stories, except many of us get to the point like I did where I needed help and I needed the understanding of how to navigate all of this, navigate who I was, because a lot of times we think who we are is not what the world needs to see, and that is so far from the truth. So what I found is in the darkness was the most powerful part of myself. What I want to do with all of this is help give hope, share guidance, share who I am in order to help others understand that they are not alone, help mentor those to navigate through their personal journey. This is what I love. This is my desire. This is what has been calling me for so long um, on this part of my path. So that is a bit about who I am and how I have arrived to this part of my journey, and why it is I have such a passion and I'm excited to work with you. And with all of this, if any of this resonates with you, if you feel like you are in a place where you have this gut feeling of something guiding you and pulling you, or you know what that is and you've done the work and you're just trying to figure out how to acclimate this out into the world and what your relationship to the world is with all of this knowledge that you have obtained, email me, message me. Maybe we can work together to find out what works best for you. Let me help guide you and point you in the right direction for whatever it is that you need in your life. With that said, I love you all and Into the Shadows.